Hello students, welcome to Academia. In today's video, I will discuss about the body fluids. We know that water is the most vital and at the same time the most abundant component of the human body. It constitutes about 70% of the total body weight, and within which the major cations like sodium, calcium, hydrogen, magnesium and anions like chloride, bicarbonate and protein of the body are dissolved. In today's discussion, I will discuss the distribution of water, extracellular and intracellular fluid, tissue fluid and its formation and function. So, here we start. In the table shows the percentage of water in various tissues and the proportion of total weight of the body which each tissue represents have been presented. The water of the body can be considered to be distributed within two main compartments, the extracellular and the intracellular. The extracellular compartment. This compartment is a compartment containing a heterogeneous collections of fluids and not a continuous fluid phase. Scientists Edelman and Liebman in 1959 have studied thoroughly the distribution pattern of body water by dilution technique and also by tissue analysis. It is postulated that 55% of water is present in the intracellular space and the rest in the extracellular space. The extracellular fluid phase can be divided into following subcompartments. In the next slide, we see the divisions. Number 1, transcellular water, which is 2.5%. Number 2, dense connective tissue and cartilage water, which is 7.5%. Number 3, plasma water that is confined within the vascular system, which is 7.5%, interstitial fluid and lymph 20%, and inaccessible bone water 7.5%. Now, the intracellular fluid compartment. It is neither a continuous nor a homogeneous phase and represents the sum of the fluid contents of all the cells of the body. In a cell, there are many anatomic subdivisions, and for this reason, there is a striking difference in water content and ionic composition in between the cytoplasm, nucleus, mitochondria and microsomes of various cell types. This intracellular fluid contains about 30 to 40% of the body weight and holds about 55% of the whole body water. Now we see how the tissue fluid is formed in our body. Tissue fluid is formed from the plasma by the process of diffusion and filtration. This fluid occupies the intracellular spaces and forms the connecting link in the transport of nutrition, gases and the metabolic end products between blood capillaries, tissue cells and the lymph. Generally, the spaces between the cells are called intracellular spaces. the plasma which is present in the blood, from that plasma the tissue fluid is formed. It constitutes the internal environment of the body which surrounds the tissue cells. The figure shows next the formation of intracellular fluid. The amount of tissue fluid formed from the tissue cells depends upon the degree of metabolic activity of the cells. That means we know that inside the cell the metabolism occurs, the different simplest form of nutrients helping in the metabolic processes. So the cells having much more metabolic activity, the amount of tissue fluid formation is high in that cell. It should be noted that tissue cells produce water as an end product of metabolism. So after the metabolic activity, the reaction steps, in each step or in some steps there are formation of the fluid. The metabolic water is added to the already existing tissue fluid. More the degree of activity, more will be the metabolic water formed, and consequently the amount of tissue fluid will increase. So the cells with higher metabolic activity, the amount of metabolic water is also higher. Now we move to edema. Edema is swelling that is caused by fluid trapped in body's tissues. Edema happens most often in the feet, ankles and legs, but can affect other parts of the body such as face, hands and abdomen. The causes of edema include: number 1, edema can occur as a result of gravity, especially from sitting or standing in one place for too long. Number 2, edema can happen from a weakening in the valves of the veins in the legs. Number 3, certain diseases like congestive heart failure and lung, liver, kidney and thyroid disorders can cause edema. Number 4, some drugs such as medication that we take for blood pressure or to control pain may cause edema. Also, an allergic reaction, severe inflammation, burns, trauma or poor nutrition can cause edema. Too much salt from the diet can also cause edema. So, these are the few causes of edema.